and welcome to another episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. The whole crew is here with us today. Happy Monday, happy 3 points, happy Leagues Cup week, happy fourth place in the standings. Um, we're so glad that you're all here with us today. Um, Gentlemen, how are you all doing? With me, we have David, Misael, and John. How's everybody doing today?
Good, good.
All right.
When's your album dropping?
Yeah, the bucket hat and my poncho.
Oh, that's
You
the
want,
poncho. It looked like you had a hoodie on.
you want to
So
hear something
when's the
funny?
album dropping?
We were walking into the match, and they have the Publix bucket hats at the stadium. My son has one of those, and I was like, I wanted him to grab me one, and I never grabbed one. They had the raffle, and as we were walking, they opened the gates, and I was like, the line was like a mile long. I'm like, I'm not waiting for this, but I really wanted a bucket hat. So we walk in, and what are they giving away? These bucket hats, and they're reversible. They're reversible. They're reversible. And did you guys see the picture of Nani wearing his like this?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for those in the front office that think we don't appreciate the little things we do, it would be nice if I didn't have to stand on a line like 50, 60 people long to get the bucket hat. Maybe you give season ticket holders stuff like that without them having to like.
Well, Ahmed, the first step of it would be to actually include it at the supporters gate too, because there was nothing at the supporters gate.
But you
My,
see,
my
so here's
son
what I'll
was
say.
my son saw all the people walking around with it, waiting
Yeah.
for the rain delay, and he was like, "Where? There's, I want one of those hats," and it was only given to everybody but the supporters.
Yeah.
He went to one of
That's
the
not
gates
cool.
and grabbed it.
So here's the thing. We just like went right in, right? But I couldn't help myself. I think if they did it for season ticket holders, a lot of the people at the wall are usually season ticket holders, so that would help a lot too. I do agree with you. A lot of the stuff like that, there's a lot to be desired. We all know, but the bucket hats are appreciated in case they couldn't tell. So yeah, speaking of which, have you guys seen any rain recently? I haven't. My son's last two soccer practices were canceled because of lightning and thunder. Yeah, not fun. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be let's be honest. $48 for a pair of swim trunks.
Those
I know.
that whole
I
release
won't.
will forever be remembered, and not in a good way. I'm just saying.
$48 for swim trunks. $48 for a youth shirt.
Hello. What about when they did? When they did the Poppy T-shirt? That was a white T-shirt, huh? Huh? I didn't. You know what? I didn't even think. I just went and I bought it, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, oh shit, it was $40. I'm sorry. Oof, that's gonna get us. But it's a white T-shirt. How are you charging 40 or $50 for a white T-shirt?
For Hanes.
I mean, God, like, come on. I could, yeah, whatever. It was just frustrating, but that's all. Anyway, thank you to those of you who are watching us right now. For those of you who are listening to us, thank you. If you don't already follow us, please follow us on all our socials. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Blue Skies as at In 90 Minutes Podcast. And then you can watch us live on Mondays on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and TikTok when we figure that one out, and Twitch, which we are on as a 90-minute podcast. So before I forget, if you don't already follow us, please do so. We appreciate you being here with us. So I know I took us off on a tangent, but where do we want to start, guys? Why don't we start with other stuff other than the first
Yeah,
team?
let's start off with the Pride, because I know they had a big match that was
Oof.
also heavily rain delayed. I know none of us really watched it. Miss Al, I know you were. I was paying attention. You were paying attention during the rain delay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I pretty much watched it on my phone, most of it, not all of it, during the rain delay. It was actually they had a heat delay. It was so hot they didn't start. It was also 3.5 hours. They were scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. They didn't start till 7:28. The game actually ended before we even kicked off.
Wow.
Actually, we weren't even allowed back into the stadium yet, and their game already ended. It ended in a 0-0. Unfortunately, Banda got hurt very early. She got tangled up
Oof.
with another player. She was able to walk off on her own, well, limp off. I haven't checked on how serious the injury is, and that was really it. Honestly, for the most that I saw, we were in KC's half. KC is the best team in the league right now this season, um, and they're just very tough. We couldn't do anything. A couple of close calls, but honestly, not much. It was they dominated the game, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
all right. And yeah, I mean it's a good draw because it's a top team by far by what 12
Yeah,
points I think.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's a good draw. You know, any draw away from home, you can't really complain too much about, especially when it's against a top team. But their next match is this Thursday, the 21st of August, over in Los Angeles against Angel City FC. And
Hmm.
this one it will be on CBS Sports Network. So for most people that have cable, should be able to watch it.
If you're
Nothing.
not in bed by then.
Yeah, true, definitely. And then next, OCB had a match on Sunday. A lot of the full, regular starters came up and played with the team. The regular OCB starters, that is. Attacking wise, Caraballos, I don't believe played much. Um,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
an unfortunate 2-1 loss. This team is guys is in a lot of transition. We have farmed a lot of the top talent, and it is what it is. I think riding for the rest of the season, and again, while disappointing to see them lose, it gives a lot of fire to the guys that are still there because they know they have a place to go. Where on the street is a lot of the top prospects at Inter Miami's academy are making the jump to Orlando simply
Really?
because yes, that's the word on the street. There's some top talent that is already
Wow.
looking at jumping. We already signed a player from there simply because they see that there's a path to the pitch. And down there, they know that that's not gonna happen as long as King FIFA now Pessy is on. It's calling the shots, as you guys saw. Obviously different club, but they got rid of a lot of the American players they had. So it's deflating to the guys in the academy, knowing, hey, if professionals that were already on the first team are being shown the door to bring more of Messi's friends, then I need to go and find myself a place where they're gonna give me a shot. So, like I said, do not be surprised in the off season when those announcements start coming in. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Isn't that
Yeah,
so
definitely.
unfortunate?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw, to kind of stay on that topic, just surprising because, usually we do after this, we'll do after, I'll finish off, next match for Orlando City B is coming up. It's, I forget. I'm blanking now when it is. Their next match is Saturday. Is this Saturday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. So basically an hour before the senior team kicks off. It is a home match. Um, you know, go watch the first half there. Watch the first half of the senior team on your phone, and then drive home and catch the end of the senior team at your home. Maybe I don't know. I'm not doing that, but if you wanted to be a diehard, you could go and do that. But no, to carry on what David said, kind of news around the league, stuff that people are talking about. There's two things I really wanted to talk about, and one of those was what Benjamin Kramashi said about the coaching staff at Miami, which I found shocking.
What do you say?
He said he goes into, basically, I'm paraphrasing, he said he goes into every match not knowing if he's going to be playing, and if he is playing, what position he's going to be playing. Typically you don't see a player, especially that young, speaking out against the manager because he's, 22, 21, something like that.
It's insane because that kid has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, they just, threw him to the side. I get who's on the team, but, this kid, didn't he get called up by the U.S. team, or they were looking at him something like that not that long ago? I'll take that guy real quick.
A couple caps.
And he's very good friends with Duncan. So you know what I'm saying? Friends talk, bro.
Yeah, give him a
And
call.
a lot of people are saying that if he decided to jump, that they will try to fleece us, which I don't see it happening. But I wouldn't mind taking that kid.
No.
I usually don't hold animosity towards players. They're just professionals. They play for who they play, and that's the way it is. But
especially somebody like him, David, to me, it's a spite to the other team. It's kind of like when, I equate it to like Johnny Damon jumping from Boston to the Yankees. Yankees fans held it over Boston's head. Same thing. One of your young, potential superstars left you guys, we're talking hypothetically here, left you guys to come join us type of deal,
Right. And my heart goes out to him, man, because I'm of the belief that what's happening there is unsustainable, and eventually, it's somewhere the dam is gonna break. And as far as Orlando City, our team is firing in so many ways, and people are starting to talk about the culture that we have. And not to jump ahead, but I think Oscar Pareja is celebrating a fantastic milestone.
That he is. Yep.
Man, if that kid said that, he must be pissed.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I don't know if you guys saw it. I'll share my screen here with the video. But apparently Wilfred Zaha forgot that
He snapped.
That we play, the game of soccer or football, and we're not in the WWE.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Forgot what's a red card and what's not a red card.
Straight red.
So for those of you watching it, Charlotte played Salt Lake this past week, and Zaha body slammed one of the Salt Lake players down to the ground after a challenge, and was only somehow shown a yellow card. I'm not saying that's violent misconduct. That's a red card all day long.
Wasn't that also at their house, and he was arguing with his own fans?
Yeah, definitely. I'll share that one more time, just in case people missed it.
Classic Zaha. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely violent. I mean, that's a red card. I don't care if this happened in the third minute. I don't care when that is. It's violent misconduct. And I mean, when he was,
if that was us, we would have got a red.
I mean, when he was here in
artificial surface.
Imagine if somebody did that to Messi.
Oh man, suspended.
It would have been.
Suspended till next season.
My gosh.
Suspended till next season.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that, but to me, that's you know the definition of violent misconduct, and I believe that's the phrasing they use for a red card.
Yeah,
Um,
that's.
and definitely should have been a
I
red
think that's
card.
a new category of red. That's like a
Yeah, I saw a
anger
video.
management card.
I saw a video on X today or yesterday or today, and it was of him. And I guess fans were telling him something, and he's like cursing at fans. And he tried to actually go towards the stands, and someone grabbed him. But I didn't know the context of like what was going on. Like, why is he like going crazy? And now I see this. So
Wow.
I'm guessing that means his own fans didn't even like it, and they said something to him. I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, back. Are you talking about what happened at the beginning of the season, where they were going back?
No,
No.
no, I think it was from this, but I didn't get to see that part where he slammed the player. He was just arguing with fans. But I think it was the same game.
So yeah, that would. I just looked it up to make sure it's violent conduct, or also it can also be labeled as serious foul play. But yeah, I mean he's been going after fans all season. When they lost when they were matches earlier in the year. I guess some fans called him out on social media, and he made a big to do about that. And he's not a player I would want on my team for sure.
No, not like that. At least Lego makes it seem like it's on accident. He slammed that guy, man.
All right.
And we forgot to bring this up last week.
Ah.
But Kyle Smith has accomplished 200 appearances, or they say 200 matches for our club. And Dagger Dan Thorhausen has accomplished 100. They were celebrated before kickoff last week during the Miami match.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's amazing to me that Dagger Dan's done that so quickly when you consider Kyle's been around for a while. I mean, obviously he plays more. So it's just crazy.
Definitely.
Cool.
And I'll give the microphone back to you, Ahmed, and we can go on about this past Saturday.
Well, before we go to that, we just gotta remind everybody that Oscar Pareja just achieved his 100th win in MLS this past Saturday. Yes.
Mhm.
And if you guys remember at the event, I guess it was just Ahmed and myself that spoke with El Profe. We had that one-on-one with a man that pocketed the 100 fans that were around us with his charisma and how approachable he is. And I remember talking to him and he telling me that this year we were gonna win for the little guy in the terraces. That's his departing words to me. And did we manage to do that these last 2 weekends? You be the judge. I will say that he has achieved that and more. Oscar, as as critical as we have been here, we have to be honest when we say that Oscar is a fantastic person, a friend to everyone, and I don't think there's anybody in this league that can say anything negative about him. And with that said, congratulations to him and his staff. I am very proud to say that he's our manager. And one day, you never know, we may have that statue of him sitting on the cooler. I've been starting to go me for that. And if
I
you don't know
vote for that statue over the rotating lion.
right, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on our IG and you can see it there.
Yeah. So this past Saturday at 7:30, well, I should say it was scheduled for 7:30. We were supposed to take on Sporting Kansas City at 7:30. We showed up. We got in our seats. The weather was great. Actually, when we got there, the weather was nice. I mean, there's always rain this time of year. But as we all know, the skies opened, and I really do believe that it has to do with the release of that outfit that they put together. It will forever be remembered. I remember one game like this a few seasons ago, and it was the Miami game. I remember because I was with my son at the wall, and we stayed there for 2.5 hours, and then the game was started. I couldn't last. So there was water everywhere. I mean, ponchos came out, and the hats came out. Um, Overall, it was not a it was a fun atmosphere. And I know some of us posted the video. The wall, the supporters groups came around doing chants, and I think it would have been nice to come a little earlier because it was getting to that breaking point. But I think that's when they realized it would have been nice to do something. But I think that really helped the vibe in the crowd because we were at that breaking point. I could tell with people. Um, the the one thing I would say, if anybody's listening, because we know sometimes they do, I'll take my hat off here. Serious time now. I know that there's a no re-entry policy. 99.9, 100% of the time. On a day like that, what I think could potentially happen, and it would take a lot of work, is on the east side at least. I don't know about the west side because the west side, they're indoors anyway. They don't care. But on the east side of the stadium and everywhere else, on the east side of the stadium, there's a whole section outside where if people wanted to walk out of the stadium, at least to get some fresh air and to come back in, they could. So why not consider possibly pushing out the security checkpoints a little further if that happens? Or maybe figuring out some way of working around that re-entry policy on a day if there's a game delay of over an hour and a half. Just
I
put it
agree
out there.
with you. The people like myself who were there with children, small
Absolutely.
children,
Yeah.
suffered. The heat was
You know what?
stifling,
Yeah.
and I would like to do what I do in every survey they send me. We need proper ventilation in the stadium on nights like that. On call for by the way, in my good friend, our good friend Eddie Cruz, and I witnessed a poor fella having a heat stroke.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Listen, it's not fun. Those of us that serve in the military, we know what that feels like, and it is probably the worst thing that you can have. I saw two people being taken to the infirmary. Those are grown folks.
Yeah.
I fortunately managed to keep Ivy cool and in an area where there was a cross breeze. But that's the reason why I left where you were at, man. If I would have
I know.
done that,
But honestly, we ended up having to leave too because it's just, had we been able to go maybe sit in the car, cool off, wait for the match, we would have probably ended up staying for the match. But after 2.5 or so hours, me trying to convince anybody in my
right?
family to stay another hour or so, because at that point, what was worse at that point is you didn't even know if we were going to play, right? We didn't know if you were going to play or if you were not. So I'm sitting there looking at four people that are looking at me like, what's up? And I'm like, well, I guess we just go because I wouldn't want to stay another hour to find out, okay, we're going to reschedule. Absolutely not.
We're always gonna play. I don't know if you guys remember the game against Chicago in our first season in MLS that was played. I think that we finished like at 2:30 in the morning. I never actually never made it to my seats. I bought four seats. I never made it to them. We laughed because there's no way we would have. At the Citrus Bowl there was no cover. I mean, you would have gone soaked.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you this. Personally, I just think that we can do better in the sense that the stadium wasn't at full capacity. Imagine had that happened when Miami was in
Oh,
town.
forget it. No
We
way.
cannot
No
put
way.
that many people in those concourses. They don't fit. Period.
No, absolutely not. I don't understand the logistics of it, how they plan that, because they know this time of year, this environment that happens. So plan for it, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Because sticking everybody in like a sardine and telling them you can't, if you leave, you can't come back. That's not a solution, right? That's really not a solution. You can say it is, but it's not. So I think we need to look at those cases, even though they may be far and few in between. Like we said, I remember the one time it happened with like a Miami game. It was like 2 seasons ago, but it's not an ideal scenario. And this time of year, it could happen next Saturday. How do we know it won't? Or when we play.
Well, I mean, and even from my perspective, over by the wall wasn't too crowded. It wasn't like over by where you said, Ahmed. That was I did a lap twice with Barrett. One when it was the very middle of the rain delay, and then about an hour later did another lap just to keep a 3-year-old entertained.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I saw, other than that log jam that was over on the east side, was they need to have put some sort of fans or something
Mhm.
around the terraces.
So that's why
'Cause
we
that
ended
would
up
make
standing
people
by
a
the
lot
doors.
more comfortable just to get those get some airflow.
Yeah.
We're not Miss Ayel, who can go in the second deck of the wall where the air's free flowing.
I was
Yeah.
actually thinking about that too. I've never been up there. Is that? It must be nice, right?
Oh, it was great. I mean, it still was hot, obviously, and the raining, but yeah, I ran up there quick because I've been down there in the hallways and it's too hot. So I said, let's run upstairs,
Yeah.
where the wind is flowing. And actually, there was actually a girl next to me complaining that she was cold, that she wanted to go downstairs around everyone because she was saying it was too cold.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
would have gladly traded with her. It was very stuffy, and then when we were over, when we did the first lap when we saw you, David, that we got over to the east side. It was pretty smooth flowing all the way around until we got past what is that, gate A over there on the goal line.
Right,
Uh,
but underneath the
right
screen.
behind you, David. Right
Yeah,
behind you, by where the palm tree is. Yeah. What we got there and where that ramp going up to go behind the seats again, where the concessions are, it was an absolute. I think we stood in place for maybe 10 minutes before we moved. I don't know if something happened, but it was an absolute log jam. They need to figure that out. And yeah, I mean, maybe it doesn't even need to be a re-entry thing. Ahmed, like you were saying, maybe
Yeah.
they just have two of the doors open and have that gated off with those gates to where.
But that's what I'm saying. Like an area for people to go out. So
Yeah.
at least, but that's what, like, even on the east, the gate on the east side B, that whole side of the stadium, it could be closed off. So now you have the length of the east side length of the stadium. It's concrete, right? Yes, people get wet. Honestly, at that point, I would have gone out, not caring if I was going to get wet or not, just to be out to get some airflow, right? But you have a lot of people that can go out there because sometimes
Yeah.
when they have those weather delays, it's not necessarily raining. Like yesterday, Saturday, it just so happened that it was raining on top of it. Most of the
Well, the
time,
first hour and a half, it wasn't raining. If you
exactly.
remember.
So you could go out there and be content, Anyway, that's
No,
neither
I
here
agree.
nor there.
But I had to carry Abby for 2 hours because for some reason she didn't want to be put down, and I finally found refuge sitting down on the stairs leading to the second level. And then of course we got kicked out because they're like, oh, it's metallic and there's thunder. And I was like, the first time I ignored the guy, he went away. But the second time he came back with reinforcements. And he kicked us out. And at that point, I was just like so over it. I was trapped. I was like, should I go home? I can't because I would have gone soaked and it would have been counterproductive. But anyways, the point is, for the people at the club, I know they listen. It's been proven over and over. We need to improve the ventilation in the stadium. Something John has witnessed this. I told Jared Dillon myself at an OCB game that it needs to improve for the safety of everybody involved and for the comfort of the players. I think let's be honest. The previous ownership built that stadium very Spartan because they didn't have the money, and our stadium is going on 8 years. At some point, we have to think of renovations. There's leaks. There was leaks everywhere, by the
Yes.
way. Even in the concourse, you were getting wet, not because you were exposed to the rain. It was because it was sipping every. I mean, it was insanity. It was
Yeah.
truly I'm glad that Oscar, and I finished with this. I'm glad that Oscar like say, hey, we were surprised that people stuck, blah blah blah, whatever. Thank you, Oscar, because it was an ordeal from hell to stick around to watch the game. It was probably one of the most uncomfortable rain delays that I have experienced in ever. Seriously.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And if we are talking about improvements, add a second video screen to that list. Just putting it out there. If somebody's listening, another video screen to that list would be nice. Just
But yeah, as far as the match go, actually, I'm gonna have one more thing to say about upgrades and comparing it to other stadiums, which is only one I've been to. Cincinnati, on the two side lines of their stadiums, on the roof, they have two of those massive like airplane propeller fans
mhm.
just to keep the air moving.
Yeah.
Even something like that on either side would greatly, in the stadium would greatly help the air movement.
Yeah.
But no, as far as the match goes, we were driving home because we ended up leaving. As Barrett said that he wanted to. We made it all the way until the players went in from warm ups. Until he actually asked to leave because he said he was getting too tired, which is understandable from a 3-year-old that didn't refuse to go down for a nap Saturday afternoon. So we drove home, listened to it, had the radio on, kicked off. Spicer scored. We were 2 minutes from home, so we missed the goal, but we didn't miss much. First half, after I heard we were up, the fear always is how are we going to respond to us scoring a goal? And fortunately, we're playing a team that isn't very good, and in Kansas City, and a team that struggles to score goals. They create opportunities. They're mad. The match before us, they kept saying on the TV, on the TV that they had a better goal differential, but still lost 2-0. So they struggle putting the ball back in the net. That was obvious. They dominated the first half, other than our one goal. Really, and then I think Poppy had one of his tactically best in game tactics ever Saturday when he brought Freeman in, took Smith out. Smith uncharacteristically was not having a good match. Usually he's pretty solid. Not that he ever does anything great, but he also almost never does anything really bad. And he was just having a little bit of an off night. So he brought Freeman in, moved Dagger Dan over to the midfield, and that changed the match for us. We started dominating. We knew a goal was going to come. It was just who it was going to come from. And then the switch to take Muriel off for Enrique, and then to bring Angulo on for Muriel, kind of is what brought us the goal, because Enrique eventually used a little bit of skill, a little bit of composure, and put the ball in the back of the net. And then Nico Rodriguez came on a little bit later, and for somebody that looks like he has a cement wall for a foot when it comes to gaining control of the ball, had a very difficult touch in the box. And he touched a deflection from a Freeman shot, touched it right to his foot, and showed composure to put it in the back of the net, which is good to see too. We had 2 first-time goal scorers in Spicer and Nico. Spicer really was his first bit of significant play, and happily I was very wrong about him. He showed why Toronto is one of the worst teams and has been one of the worst teams in the East for a couple years now. And when you have a guy that skilled with that much speed, I mean, how many guys did he lose Saturday? He was owning their right back, absolutely just made him look like a fool multiple times. His movement without the ball, I thought, was really good, and then his speed was ridiculous. With him and Angulo on the wings, has to be the fastest wing, and then you put Enrique up top, probably the fastest front three in the league, I would imagine, by far as well. So overall, I'm happy. It was a win. Kind of sluggish first half, except for that goal 70 seconds in. But again, that lingering thought is still there of we score first and then we sit back until the match is drawn, and then it's like we have to react. We're never the proactive team, and In playoffs, you have to be the proactive team.
Yeah. What
I'm
about you?
just glad there, John, you redeemed yourself because when you first started talking and you said, "Oh, Spicer scored the first one," then you moved on right away. I was just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Give this man some credit here. This guy was balling. He was star of the match."
Yes, he was. He was the star of the match. I got that graphic right here for everybody.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I wonder how he feels.
I mean, you know what? I think I'm very happy for him. I think it's he's got a great opportunity, and I don't know if it was us or our account that posted it, but there was somebody from his former team. I think it was the coach that mentioned something or about the pay and how he wanted a certain amount. It's crazy if he was getting paid so little. So I'm glad he's in a position where he's getting paid what he should be, and he's getting the opportunity to play and show what he can do. Because that's all you really ask for as a professional athlete, right? Because how many times can you go somewhere and just sit there on the bench? So at least he has the opportunity to get paid what he's looking for, and to play and to
I
and to
was
show.
I was going wild every time he touched the ball
Yeah.
because every time he touched that ball, he like John said, he was shaking those right backs. Man, they were lost. I'm sure that guy. I think it was Shelton too, which is actually a pretty good player.
He needs
Um,
new ankles.
yeah, he destroyed that guy.
Hey, Misael, you mind reading some of the comments here, so that way we
All right,
don't
yeah.
Um,
pile up on us. Thank you, guys.
All right, Luke Manic. I think hopefully I didn't say that wrong. I would still like to play a more attacking style of play. It's a shame when we are playing that. I beg we score so we don't sit back 1-0 and then they score an equalizer.
We talked about that week after week.
He also goes on to say, I feel like there needs to be more facilities to accommodate the crowd in the heat. I don't think a re-entry is necessary. More communication and more facilities that help the heat would help.
I would like to add something to that. We used to have the ambassadors that will go around with their signs saying club ambassador, and people can talk to because it was difficult to just be on the dark, refreshing your phone to see if there was communication from the club, and mostly you were getting communication from reporters that don't work for the club that are basically relaying information that were. By the way, our good friend Mike Ramajo and Austin David. God bless you, because they're fans first. But the reality is, I think. And by the way, we are being critical to the club because we love the club, and the club is always reactive to this type of things, and they improve. So we are not just vilifying what happened by saying, "Oh, look at all this happened." The club really does take care of that into part of the equation. So in the future, it will be nicer to have more people to like calm the masses down. By the way, I know that we had our differences, but the supporter groups, kudos to you, fantastic. You took initiative. You went, going around the stadium, getting
Yes.
people's mood
That was
up.
awesome.
Awesome, because at that point, people were actually looking at the door to leave. Because I'm sorry, the temperature was through the roof. There was no place to sit, no place to find a wet, dry spot. People with children, those kids were screaming. They wanted to be out of there. It was a really bad situation. So, I know. I'm sorry, Miss Al. I just wanted to throw my two
Oh no,
cents.
it's okay. I mean, I was wondering why couldn't they just put the Pride match on the screens on all the TVs in
Oh,
the
come on,
hallway and the
brother.
oh, yeah.
There we go.
Not
I was
You
thinking,
know what, Misael? That would have made the time go by quicker.
of
People
course, I
would
was like,
not.
put a match on.
And imagine the camaraderie, between everybody instead of just everybody standing there in their little groups, friends or by themselves. It would have felt more of a, jointed effort as well. You
Like a
know,
watch party.
I've
yeah,
always said they should do watch parties like that. Watch parties at the stadium. When you have away games, you have a watch party. You would need TV
Yeah, I think
screens
they,
on both
I
sides
think,
of the stadium.
I
But
think
guess
they
what
did
you
it
could
once.
do? Huh?
I believe they did something like that like one time
Yeah, but I'm
where
saying
they did
imagine
it.
like it's a regular thing during away
Oh
games.
yeah,
And they could limit capacity, but imagine going to watch it at the stadium and you could have the
Yeah,
announcer.
they did the watch party when MLS is back. Remember when we beat the LAFC?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, outside of the Citrus Bowl. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
All right,
That would be cool. Anyway.
we'll keep on some more comments here. What are we on? Serge Nash, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
Serge Nash says season tickets are up 18-20%. Renovations are needed. First time ever I had to leave. Had a visiting 70-year-old mother-in-law. Felt like having a heat stroke. No simple ventilation. Sorry to hear that, brother. He also says packing us like sardines inside leaking can. Thank you, OC, for raising prices and getting us nothing in return. Very close to not renew season ticket members after 10 years.
Enough said, brother. I'm right behind you. I've been a season ticket holder since 2019.
Victor goes on to say, can we get Atlanta concession prices? That would be great with free refills on soft drinks.
Victor, to that, the reason why Atlanta gets those cheap prices is because they're subsidized by the taxpayers and we're self-funded. While that looks awesome and bragging rights, the reality is that makes it very difficult for an organization that is looking to make profit to do those rock bottom prices. I don't know. Perhaps we can find the city. By the way, Buddy Dyer, who I respect a lot, he's my mayor. I live inside the city limits of Orlando. Politically, we disagree on a lot of things, but one thing I can say, he is a man of his word. He has been a fantastic administrator in our city. The last 25 years have been fantastic under his leadership. He's stepping down. I believe it's next year that we have city elections, or the year after that, and that means that we're gonna have a new mayor. Is the new mayor gonna be as helpful as Buddy has been with the sports teams in this town? The jury's still out on that, but perhaps our new mayor can lobby for for concessions and for the taxpayers to help out. After all, the sports teams bring revenue to the city, and they also bring tourism. So we'll see.
Yeah, I have a whole soapbox to go on, but then this isn't a political show about the sports teams. I was going to stay on topic with sports, but we'll save that for private discussions.
So I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. I'm getting.
I was going to say, when I visited Atlanta to see us play up there, I had a buffet for like $12. It was great. Yeah, that was awesome. They had you got the souvenir cup as well, which was obviously hard to hold that cup with the Atlanta logo on there, but they gave you a souvenir cup, and on the machines are out in the concourse, and it just says free refills till I believe it was 70th or 75th minute.
Well, you know what they could even do? Like, in all honesty, like if you think about it, Disney does it, right? You buy a souvenir cup and you can get free refills. So charge me whatever for the cup. Or
Magic and Polar Bears do that.
Even if they're discounted, even if they're discounted ticket refills.
You know what I mean? Magic do it. You get the souvenir cup, Orlando Magic, and it's out in the hallways. You fill it up.
Well, I got a ton of those. Solar Bears too. Solar Bears. I don't know if they still do, because I haven't been. I haven't bought one in a while, but it was like $8, unlimited refills, and then you take the souvenir cup, which is plastic. It has the players. I think we did that with beer for a little bit with the old regime. I think it was like Dom Dwyer and a couple of other players that were on the cups. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I love those aluminum cups. Those aluminum cups.
Yeah.
I have a stack of them at home.
I got like 50.
I love the plastic cups that we used to do, because not every match, but every once in a while they'd get a new batch in that were a little bit different, throughout the season.
Yeah.
And then every season they had the new year on it, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even something, we always give them ideas for season ticket members, even in addition, something, if they don't want to sell it to everybody, even something to reward season ticket members, is add it to your season ticket member thing. I mean, it costs probably $4 to make the cup, and then 5 cents for every refill. Add a couple bucks a month to my plan, and I'd get one for every ticket. Because it would make sense, versus having to go and spend almost double on a 20-ounce thing of soda. Just do that, and I'd be more likely to buy a snack or food in the stadium.
Yeah.
You can tell
But
that John works in sales, but I
I'm
digress.
not a salesperson, David. I negotiate mainly for a living.
Yeah.
But we
Hey,
did have
Ryan.
a couple other things happen with the match. Ojeda did receive Team of the Match Day honors again. I feel like every week he's making Team of the Match Day anymore. And then he also tied, I believe it was,
Yes.
the I forgot to put
The
that.
Atomic Ant.
Yeah, he tied for the most consecutive matches with a goal contribution for second. I believe first is
Joseph.
who is it?
Joseph.
Yeah, Martinez um from what's it called? Atlanta. It has 15, I believe is the record. So we need 3 more matches in the league to do that, which would be Nashville, DC, and then not Nashville again. I forget who we played before Nashville.
It got a little scary there.
Vancouver.
It got a little scary there versus Kansas City because like the clock was winding down and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, the streak, and he finally got the assist.
Yeah.
Hey, if it was the video game, he would have got the assist because of the shot.
Yeah, I was freaking out, man. I was freaking out.
EA video game that if you take a shot and it deflects off of a keeper, or opposing player, and one of your teammates is the next one to touch it and put it in, the game sometimes counts that as an assist. But yeah, I mean, he is absolutely dominating is the only word for it right now. And that assist came with his right foot too. That was a right-footed pass that he had. And good to see him using both feet, which he needs to do. So fun. It's exciting. We're after Saturday's match, we're only 5 points from first place. We've had a bunch of results go our way the last couple weeks. We're climbing right up the table, currently in 4th, but we are, like I said, 5 points from first. We are 4 points behind Philadelphia in second, and tied with Nashville on points. They only have, because of the way MLS does their tiebreakers, they have one more win than us, so they currently have the tiebreaker to get 3rd place.
Boo.
So,
all right,
Misael, what are your thoughts of the match, man?
Say it again.
What did you think of the match?
It's just like you guys said already. The first half, a little shaky there, and second half was better. I've always said that Papi's a very good adjustment guy, but making second half adjustments. Like John said, I believe it was John. Of the players that he brought in, especially towards the the end when we had that speed with Spicer, Ramiro, and Angulo up top. I mean, I don't know who's going to stop that. Just happy we got the win. We needed it. It looked a little shaky there, like it's like we were talking about before, where sometimes you feel like we played down to the opponent. And, at the beginning there, I was just like, come on, like what's happening? I started yelling out after a while, pretend it's Miami, because it's like, what are we doing? Like it looked a little stagnant. But the same way we were out. I mean, they weren't waiting in the heat, obviously. They're in the locker room in the AC. But, still, when you have your mentality and they're used to playing at a certain time and they also had to wait, 3-hour delay. I think that's why the referee, if you notice, he never gave out any cards. I guess he wanted to see the game. He didn't get out no cards. And I think there was some yellows there from us, from them, and he didn't bring out not one card. If you notice, too, for the second half, there was still like a minute 20 left. And we were already in the middle, we were already at the middle of the pitch waiting. And I was like, these guys want to go home. But yeah, overall, it's just you get the win. It's what matters. Sometimes they're not pretty. Sometimes they're ugly.
Yeah, no, you guys are right. My concern is that this should have felt easier than it did for us,
Of course, yeah.
right? Because go if
Mhm.
you look at what we have coming up, we have, let's see, what do we have? Not counting the
Nashville
Leagues
next.
Cup, not counting the Leagues Cup, we have
We have
Nashville,
Nashville
Nashville next.
twice.
Vancouver, DC, Nashville again, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, not looking good.
You know, so
Tough.
my concern with that is, yes, it was a win. I'm glad we got the win, but this should have been easier than it was. If we're expecting the same performance as we had the last two matches, right? And I get it. They were tired. It was 3 hours. We were all tired.
Mhm.
But still, you're talking about the team. What place was Kansas City in? Like,
Third to last in the West, I believe.
yeah. They're currently in 13th.
Yeah.
Right? So that should have been easier for us than it was. That's the only part that concerns me going forward. Great win. I feel like a lot of the goals we got were, being at the right place at the right time. Like Spicer's first goal, amazing goal. But he got that goal because he was in that right spot, and obviously he hit it and it was a banger,
The
right?
ounce of luck that we always talk about.
Yes, literally. Because my son was talking about it. He was like, that was an awesome goal. I was like, dude, that was luck because had he moved an inch, that would not have happened. The fact that he was smart enough to wait and see what happened and that ball just came to him, that's the ounce of luck. That ounce of luck and the ounce of luck with Nico Rodriguez, the ounces were in our favor that day. I'll call it
I
that.
will say, Ahmed, the Spicer one from what I saw because I always rewatch
Yeah.
the match at least once. That had just a lot to do with his IQ.
Yeah.
His
That's what I
movement
mean.
off the ball.
Yeah.
It's like when Duncan first started scoring goals. If you remember one of his first goals, it was like came up and hit him in the hip and went in, and we're like, "Well, was that a goal of luck or a goal of skill because he was at the right place, where
Yeah.
he should have been?" And you look at what Spicer did is he passed the ball to Ojeda, and then he took that space Ojeda just left,
Yeah.
which is what's supposed to happen. The pass was there if Ojeda needed it. He put it on goal, and we got the lucky bounce.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there, if it was, somebody like Angulo maybe
Yeah.
that would have stayed out on the wing, that shot would have never been there.
Yep.
But to me it was, yes, it was luck that we got the bounce, but the fact that he was where he was supposed to be
Oh,
is his
absolutely.
IQ
That's what
and-
I'm saying. I know
Yeah.
him holding his
and
position.
then the strike.
It's totally all on him. I'm saying we got lucky in that deflection from Ojeda went right in his lap, basically, because he was waiting right for it.
Yep. And then just a beautiful piece of skill too to hit that.
Yeah,
hit that
absolutely.
off the volley.
But overall, that's what concerns me because, like we talked about, those matches that are coming up, we play like that in those matches. That's not going to be enough. We need to play like the Miami match in order. And I would even argue the Miami match. You could argue that Miami wasn't playing their best, right? I would say Toluca. I'll go back to the Toluca match because they were out for blood.
You mean the
Sorry, Necaxa, for the Necaxa match. They were out. They wanted to stay in it. So
yes, I'm not saying we played a great first half, Ahmed. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to debate you.
no, it's okay. That's
But
the whole thing, right? It's
my
like
opinion is we really missed Araujo.
yeah,
Because Kyle Smith did have a rare off match where there was a definite weakness in our team.
Yeah.
And it was his position. And that really changed when we moved, we replaced Dagger, who does okay at right back and wasn't having a good game at right back either. We put him in the midfield with a little bit more speed. Balls and dribbling skills and ball control that really helped us gain control of that match. And then also Freeman coming in will help any match when he comes off the bench. So I'm not terribly worried about how we played. I'm worried about the fact that we did sit back after we scored that goal because, kind of saying the same thing you did.
yeah.
There
wasn't that sense of urgency. There wasn't that sense of urgency that there was in the Miami match. Like in the Miami match, we didn't score. We scored one goal in the beginning, But for the rest of the match, you didn't feel like we sat back. At least
Well,
from my
to start the game, I mean, just looking at the lineup, I guess you can tell that Papi was going to rest players because of
yeah,
Sporting's, obviously not being such a great team. So let some guys rest. I mean, I kind of knew that he was going to bring them in the second half. It was
yeah.
just, I guess, to start off, And I mean, the way I look at it is, we got to see what Spicer had, and
I'm not.
championship teams or championship contending teams do know how to get wins like this.
Yeah.
Even when it's ugly, they know how to pull through and finish it off. And that's what I looked at it as. Like I said, sometimes they're ugly, man. But as long as you can finish,
We're in uncharted territory right now.
yeah,
In that sense, So
Virtually, we did finish second 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In the league.
Yeah.
But I mean, but then the second half it came out and we were not on the back foot whatsoever. We took it to them, with those changes, whatever Papi, said at halftime, really, motivated the boys. The changes helped immensely. I mean, I think personally it was one of his, best matches, where you could legitimately see, hey, they won because Papi did this. And then that was a match that 100% his substitution at halftime, which we all know he's always one to substitute later than, sooner.
Yeah.
So, props to him. He had a heck of a match. I thought he actually deserved to be on the, coach of the match day because of how we had to come back and win, keeping the boys locked in for, 6+ hours if you include the warm-ups, because usually they get there about an hour and a half before the match begins. So they got there at 5:30. I guess almost 8 hours, actually, 7-8 hours anyway.
welcome
Keeping
to our world.
What's that?
I said, welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Putting in an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed by Spicer. To
yeah.
me, that's what I take away from the game. It was just an unusual situation, and to be honest, I'm just very happy that he's in purple. And my apologies for the background noise, as you guys know. But to me, we did what we had to do. We got the 3 points. We move on because this is gonna be a week that is gonna define the rest of our season.
Yep. And the other thing too is I want to know what's going on with Marco. He's had 3 or 4 poor matches. Now he did pick it up on Saturday, but he's been putting, not good matches in, borderline stinkers of matches in the last little bit. So, he needs to pick it up a little bit. Everybody knows I was a big fan of his move coming in. Really looked good first, up until just recently. I don't know if the heat's getting to him because he's not used to it.
He's putting a lot of pressure on himself, brother. I think if you see,
I mean, I like that you brought that up because I'm on the left side of the wall, which obviously when they're coming towards us is, the right side. And go back and look at previous matches, not only this last one, but other ones. When Thor is in right back, him and Pasalic, they don't pass the ball to each other at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if Thor just can't find him or something. But these guys, we were talking about it the other day at the game. It's almost like as if they hate each other. Like they barely even look at each other. Like I was surprised when Thor gave it to him twice, and I'm sitting here like, what's happening here? Like they just, I don't know, like their chemistry sucks. Like
they're both left-footed, right?
Thor's right-footed.
Thor's right, yeah.
Dagger Dance.
Oh,
right.
I believe
okay.
Thor's
For
right,
some
yeah.
reason, I thought he was left-footed, but
But it just doesn't click, man. Like go back and watch it, you'll see nothing's happening, and it's just like I was begging for Freeman. I was like, please, because
Even that though, and I'm not saying he's not a good player, but a good player will still, figure out figure out how to get the ball on his foot. But not even to that extent. He was just dribbling into trouble, trying passes and them not working out, simple stuff like that. In the first half, he was really struggling with.
that was a little bit of too selfish.
Miami. What's that?
That was the part where we said maybe a little too selfish.
Not dribbling into trouble, yes, but the passes, some of the passes were silly passes where he you know, you
Yeah.
take the
Well,
two matches. There's a handful of times where the Miami match and this match. Um,
I have a
you know,
theory on that, John. I
what's
think
that?
the problem here is the Europeans are very, very, very technical, and our South Americans are what is known in South America as gambeteros, dribblers. And by the way, if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, look at Luis Muriel's last 5 goals, and the one by Ramiro Enrique. That's people are very comfortable just dribbling through a lot of kicks and pushes and things like that. I think personally, I think Marco's going through a bad stretch. That's all it is, and the jibs, as some people call it, and he just has needs to work it out. And when that happens, and he finds because at this point, I think that he's just in his head. He needs to get out of that.
Yeah,
uh, and the best thing about it is you score goals, boom, you're in the zone. Look at what happened to Luis Muriel. Luis Muriel did not score his past game, but the guy looked full of confidence, full of bravado, and that's I think that's what they need. I think is people that come from different football cultures having to work together, and that's gonna take time. And I hate the phrase, I hate it, but they need time to jail.
well, we do
Yeah.
have some comments, Messiah, if you want to read them off before we move on to our matches ahead.
Uh,
Okay. Where we at?
I got it pulled up for you.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Victor almost wanting that winter schedule. Um,
That's
I
true,
forgot.
but
Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about in that time.
With the
Um,
water and the delays and everything.
oh, okay. Ray goes on to say, first goal is why players want to come here. Love that several games still wanting to be on front foot late in second half with lead. It is to better coach with better, deeper roster. Easy to be better coach with better roster. Oh, okay. He was fixing the typo, I guess. He also goes on to say probably a third of all goals in the MLS include a lucky bounce.
yep.
Yep. And then Victor says, didn't Marco get a goal versus Inter? I'd say all of the travel in this league will get to you as well.
Yeah, that's true. He did have a goal against Inter Miami, which I was really hoping would kind of bring him back a little bit. He did have a really nice shot on goal Sunday in the second half. Unfortunately, it was straight at the goalie, but just some little things that he needs to clean up, and he'll be right back in the form.
and a quick thing, Croatia is the country of Croatia, where he's from, is the size of Florida. So think about it. He's gone from traveling cross country, and I'm making air quotes, in a state, in a country the size of our state, to now going cross country through the continent to go play a game on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, not to, but this coming Wednesday, we fly out west. Well, actually, they're already on their way.
Yeah.
They play Wednesday. They play is it the quarterfinal?
Yes.
The quarterfinal
Yeah.
match against Toluca. If we are successful in this match, we will play the winner of the Tigres Inter Miami match. Oh, what a rematch that would be! Either way, because we have unfinished business with Tigres and we have unfinished business with Inter Miami. So, any thoughts on those that upcoming Wednesday match, gentlemen? That's 9 p.m. our time. Oof.
Better than 10:30.
Yes.
Correct. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I like our chances. You see who Toluca played. It's basically going to be a home match for them, which is why Toluca chose. And the official word I saw from Leagues Cup is the reason they got to choose, as if you take the overall table, which I don't know really how you can do that when only a handful of teams played the same competition. But you take the overall table, Toluca is finished above Orlando. They're the only Liga
Oh, yeah.
MX side to finish above an MLS team, which just happened to be us. So they got to choose. Like I said, basically be a home match. But you see who they've played. They played Columbus, drew them, won the penalties, beat Montreal by 1, and then beat New York City by 1. Um, you know, I like our chances. We showed we can compete with the with the teams from Mexico. With what we did, had a little bit of an off match versus Pumas, and then came back with back-to-back wins. One of those being a trouncing against one of the most historic clubs in Mexico. So I like our chances. I think if we come out, get a goal early, continue on that front foot like we always say, that we have a good chance. Don't let them get to us, which I know we struggle with a little bit. We've seen it, the first time we played Tigres after the match that we had here in Orlando, there was a scuffle. There was a big scuffle in our second match against the Mexican team this year. Forget who it was at this point. Where Ojeda got that scratch over his eye and everything, and
It was Atlas.
Atlas.
Yeah,
So I think if we stay, if we're mainly if we're mentally stronger than them, don't let them get to us. Limit the silly fouls, limit the scuffle. Us, being the cause of the scuffle, that we should come out on top.
And so a lot of people don't know this. The reason why Toluca is gets to pick the venue, they're the current champions of Liga MX. So is LA Galaxy. We know that they're bottom of the table this season, but they're still the reigning champs. So we get to play in their house as the I guess the early fight in the card. I guess if you want to put it in boxing terms. But look, great teams fight and win whatever with whoever whenever, and that's basically what it is. We're not gonna make excuses. If we lose, we lose. If we win, it's gonna show that we're doing it on the road, across country, on a Tuesday, and I'm gonna be honest with you. After that, no one will be able to hold a candle against us, because it's one thing is to play at home on a Tuesday and against a team that has to travel. But we are doing the traveling this time. We're going across country. We're doing that, and then Saturday we're on the road against a team where we have some unfinished business that are above the table, because nothing is set in stone at this point for the playoffs. So who do I want to? I want to beat them really, 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 really bad. They have talked a lot of crap, and I'm not losing sleep over this Mexican team. I said some stuff that I wrote some big checks on social media, and I don't intend to cash them. So the boys need to go out there and do what they had to do, because at the end of the day, guys. Um, we managed to destroy two Mexican teams, drop the ball on another one, let them go easy. But the fact is that we didn't have a easy group to go through, and we just gotta go and win. And it's gonna be a super hostile environment. And I feel that if we can win there, I'm gonna say it, and you can quote me, you can clown me, whatever. If we win that game Wednesday, we're gonna be lifting the MLS trophy.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now, we have to. We have to. You cannot. I listen. I have watched enough Mexican football over the years. I'm Hispanic. I know the culture. I have Mexican friends. I'm telling you right now, we are going to a cauldron of hate.
but you
That's
meant to say MLS Cup or Leagues Cup?
no, the League's Cup. What's happening Wednesday? We're going to a cauldron of hate. If we can go there to the pit of hell and get a result and come back to most likely humiliate Pessy live in Orlando, because we get to play at home. We get
Wait,
to play at home.
do you think he would come this time?
He has to. He has no choice. He really has to. He has no
Unless
choice.
he gets hurt
We would
against
not. They wouldn't play here because Miami finished over us in the table.
But wasn't it isn't the fact that we are the away team we get to not even then. Okay,
No,
well,
it's how you finished on the table. So
Yeah.
okay, well, you
they
know what?
basically did it seeded for the quarterfinals,
which
and
means he
based on the
will play
seed,
in his house.
We'll
you know,
go
the
down there
higher
and do the
score team
nasty again.
picks where you play.
Man, that would be a match to see. Oh, shit.
If we beat Toluca, we get a CCL spot.
We'd have to get third overall. So if we beat Toluca and we lose the semifinals, we go into the third place match. If we win the third place match, it's an
Then we go
automatic
to
qualifier in the Champions Cup.
All right.
Anyways, if we win that game Wednesday, then nothing is impossible to the boys for the 407. So
You're
if
not
we get
wrong.
to the dance, if we get to the dance, and we can beat anybody. I'm telling you right now. I envision us lifting that trophy at home, and shutting haters. That listen, I'm here to tell you, if we win Leagues Cup and MLS Cup, just shut down your social media, put your phone away for the next 6 months, because I'm gonna be insufferable. You guys know how can I get? How can I get? So I'm gonna be insufferable because
I
I
think
tell you what,
I
I've
think
been
if
told that
we
it is not, it is never coming. Guess what? We're at the gates.
I think if we win MLS Cup, we're all gonna be like that.
So
I'm
real
pretty
quick,
sure.
I was just doing some minor scrolling through X. According to Alonso El Inca, who is a Latino reporter,
Yeah, Area
uh,
Sports Network,
yes,
Orlando Beat.
Orlando Pride have reached an agreement with Tigres to sign their striker Elizabeth Ovalle, um, and they signed her. Bought her contract for around $2 million. She should be joining the team next week. So that just broke about a half hour ago on
Oh,
X.
guys, we haven't talked about this. Martha and Barbara Banda have been nominated to the Ballon d'Or, as
Yes,
well as Orlando Pride as a club. So, congratulations to the ladies. Winning that will bring so much eyes on our organization and prestige. And I pray that that happens.
definitely. Yeah, that would be huge. I've said for a while and had the belief that even though the number of teams might not be the same, that the NWSL is right up there with I don't know their names, but the Women's Premier League, the women's all the women's leagues in Europe. The prices that we saw that the NWSL signed players to, the quality of the players. It helps having a very very good women's national team. To where they want to stay close to home, and are making more money than they would be, or the same money than they would be overseas is a huge thing. So that's a great signing, especially not knowing exactly Barbara Banda's situation. And let's be honest, the Pride have struggled to put the ball in the back of the net this year. So, any last thoughts on the match on Wednesday, David or Maseo? Looks like we may
Win,
have
baby. Win.
Yeah, just win. I think it's going to be a tough one. Like we stated, playing in LA, obviously it's California. So I don't think it's a secret that that's going to be a home game, like you guys said, for them, and it'll be tough. But I think we can do it. Like David said, I think we can pull it off.
Definitely. And then after that, not even 48 hours later, 72 hours later, the boys will Nashville to face Nashville. This is a team that we are tied with on points. Big matchup, true 6-point match. 6-point match here. Nashville's been on a tear this year. I know recently they've dropped off in form for what they have been, so far this year, and this is our first league match against them. We did play them in the Open Cup. They rotated, we rotated. They beat us, if I remember, it was 3-1. 2-0, something like that at home in the U.S. Open Cup. So the boys should definitely feel a bit
It
of
was 2-1, John.
2-1. Thank you. Um, what do you guys think about the match on Saturday? Um, you know,
It's gonna be tough, like you said. Nashville's been playing good all season. Um, I like it. We seem to have like a bit of a rivalry with them, going for a couple years back. So I always like facing them, because, like we spoke before, obviously they are kind of close to us, but usually rivalries are geographically close. But we've had this going thing with them in the playoffs and when DK was here, etc. Um, so yeah, I just win. I mean, just keep it going. I'm happy that I don't know if we touched on it, but that Gervais was back um, on Sunday, so that's going to be a big help for us. Caesar will be back, so having them two there, that's going to be a big help there.
Duncan may be
Um,
back. He's match to match right now.
oh, great, man! Because
He was
I've been
last
wondering. They told us the third game of League's Cup he might be back, and he still hasn't shown up. And I'm like, what happened? Like,
So last week he was training with the club, semi regularly, and then stepped off when it got more to the physical end of practice to do work by his side. So that means this week, especially with practices being a little bit lighter, having the 3 matches in 7 days, we may see him, and as an emergency guy if we need a goal late, especially on Saturday. But he should be back. I would imagine he would be back on the bench. Um, the match after Nashville.
Also, like we said, we were excited to see what Spicer did. So, I mean, we'll see what he can do. But from that game, it looked like we can count on him. I think Adrian also was the new guy, was a sub on the other day. I think he was on the
He did
sub.
not come in as a sub.
No, but he was on the subs
He was
list,
on the
though, right?
bench. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we get to see him, or maybe we get to see him versus Toluca. Does he qualify to play for League's Cup?
No.
No. Okay. So yeah. So maybe we'll see him Saturday. Go ahead, David.
No, no, I'm sorry. One important thing in the event, God willing, that we move on in League's Cup, the game against Vancouver that we were supposed to play on the 30th, it's gonna be postponed. Obviously, we can't play, but
Oh
Saturday and
yeah.
Sunday. So I
Yeah.
just want to make people aware of that the semifinal for League's Cup is gonna be played Sunday, August 31st. And so if we dispatch Toluca, then that game, which is a home game against Vancouver, is gonna be moved, postponed. Personally, I would love for us to play at Vancouver. We have not done so since 2018. This is insane.
Yeah.
That almost a decade has gone by since our last since I was visiting Vancouver. In the meantime, they have been here 3 times, and as of right now is the furthermost that our club travels to. But yeah, as far as Nashville, it's a tough. If you ask me, do you? I'd rather go and tie with them and win on Wednesday. I don't want to lose to them. We can't afford that right now. We really can. But winning both games is really, really tall order. And if we manage to push that, man, like I said, if we manage to push that, then start getting your clothing selection for that pitch invasion. I'm doing it. I'm sorry. That's if we win MLS Cup at home, I don't even that day I probably Uber to place to be safe for everybody. I just don't know what I would do. But the boys are on fire. You know, take your shots. My boys at Stevenage are perfect. 3 games out of 3 games. And thank you, my brother. I'm of the belief that we always say good and bad streaks they come to an end in football. We're on a good one, and we're better than last year. And I don't know, man. I'm starting to feel like I used to in USL, where game on the calendar, 3 points in the pocket. we'll have to see. I'm excited. I hope the fans are excited too. Our listeners and the fan base at large, because I wanna I stopped to think about that 2017, 2018, 2019 seasons that were horrific. Where 2018, where we won two games after we fired Jason Christ. And football, when football wants to give, man, you cannot stop it. It's I think it's our moment. The fact that New York Red Bulls are not even making playoffs, and they are the reigning Eastern Conference champions, and they beat us at home 1-0, irks me so bad. I don't know about you guys, but it just it
Oh yeah.
just stabs me, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I think, like I said, that we can do it. Right now, Miami are a wounded animal. They beat LA Galaxy. That is they're horrible. So, quite honestly, I think I don't think there's a MLS team that we can say, oh yeah, those guys are better than us. And like we say on the show, football is played on grass, not on paper. So, to quote the great um, Ric Flair, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Woo!
Exactly. Woo. So
It's
let's
a tall task, but we are 5 points away from
right.
tying for the Shield. Still, like
That's
it can
as
be
our
done.
national.
I know it's hard, but it can be
It's
done.
doable, brother. It's doable.
It's as stupid as it sounds, as weird as it sounds. It's a lot more doable now than it was 3 weeks ago after we beat New England. Because I think when we beat New England, we were what 11 points back, I believe.
True. And
Yeah.
if the boys that are ahead of us, if Nashville and Cincinnati and Philadelphia hit that funk at the wrong time of the season, boy, we may be there. We may be
Well,
there.
and the good news is too, guys, is we play 3 matches now. Two of those matches are against Nashville, but we play two of the three teams ahead of us. Still, we played Nashville twice and Cincinnati once. So I mean, we easily, if Philadelphia, you look at how Philadelphia finished last year. They added some pieces, but they didn't add that huge signing. They have a new coach. You never know. Maybe they start going on a slump. Nashville's on a slump. Nashville hasn't won a league match. They're not even in Leagues Cup. So their last win was on July 19th. Since then, they have 3 losses and a draw. Or that draw, I'm sorry, was even against Aston Villa. So it was a club friendly. So they have, 3 straight league losses. Um, Whereas with us, we have, what is it, 4 straight, maybe 5 straight, 4 straight league wins. We haven't dropped a match. Um, haven't dropped a match since July 16th when we lost to, not to bring up bad memories, but lost to New York City at home 2-1. Um, I like our we definitely have a legitimate shot to the shield, the supporter shield. A little bit legitimate, which this year is going to be first place in the East. We have a legitimate shot, and I did look, Victor, because I saw your comment on here. He said he thought it was top four, get automatic. I did double check while the other guys were talking, and it does say the winner of the third place match will qualify for the Champions Cup. Doesn't say anything about fourth place on the Leagues Cup website.
Yes, it's only top three,
Yeah,
unfortunately, Victor. So more power to us to go win. I don't want the third place. I want the trophy at this point.
absolutely. So
I
do
want
I.
a
I'm
trophy.
just
And if
clarifying.
I have to say this, uh, uh, Messi was missing in action. We demolished that team. They go and magically he's I guess he went to a tent revival, and they laid hands on him, and he was magically healed. He gets on
Yeah.
the pitch and
How do you do that?
has a mediocre goal, and of course the bots and all this other crap. Oh, look, Messi, when there was goals that were better, and I just guys, I just have so much hate. Before he came to MLS, indifferent. I was indifferent to the Penaldo, Pesci BS. But right now, these people are so insufferable, so punchable that I just really want to win the trophy just to spite them. That's all I want to do. I just want to run through them. We're kings of Florida. Nobody can deny that. The fact that the U.S. Open Cup official account clown them
Yeah,
by
that was
saying,
great.
only one Florida team in the modern era has won the championship. You lost it at home. They won it. That to me says anything you need to know. If we are the blue collar heroes, and they are the former glory zeros. That's all they are. Just to quote our Rodrigo Schlegel, they are the past. We're the present. We gotta believe that. I am telling you right now, man. If if we win this, no, when we win this Wednesday, I'm gonna be running through walls, and I hope you too. I hope you too. Because if when that moment happens, I remember, I can't remember his name right now, and forgive me. He was a writer for one of the platforms that covers Orlando City, and they're nasty to me, so I'm not gonna give him a shout out. But this fine gentleman wrote a piece where he said the day we win it all, meaning MLS Cup, our moment we're gonna have an incredible moment, but then our thoughts are gonna go after all those that are no longer with us, that never got to live to see it, and all the moments of suffering and all that. And you know what? I'm gonna add to that. When we win it all the trail of tears and suffering, none of that's gonna matter. And I want to finish with this. I want to quote English gentleman that sat next to me in 2018 when we beat, I believe it was Toronto. And he gave me the biggest piece of advice or thought about football that anybody could have given me. He said, the reason why all the teammates have to lift the cup is because inside the cup, there's the dreams, the tears, the blood, sweat, and tears of the supporters. The longer you wait, the heavier it's going to become. And I believe that. Of course, we lifted the U.S. Open Cup, lovely moment, but to win out, to put that star above our badge, is going to be something meaningful. And you know what? And to beat Mexican teams, also, I'm going to put that in the same level because nobody gave us a chance. Nobody said Orlando's going to make the top four. I don't even think us four in this show did that. So I just like I said, I am right now. I'm so full of energy. I can run to hell and back carrying gas cans for Oscar Pareja. Let's go and do what we have to do. And to the Mexican fans that ran their mouth loose, like I said, go ahead and block me from now because I'm telling you, if the game finishes at 10:01, at 10:01, I'm gonna be there, and you're not gonna like me.
And you got me ready to run through a wall.
We do have a couple more comments, Messiah, if you want to read those off.
Yeah, Serge Nash says Caesar and Geron Gerbe will manhandle Pesci into retirement. And he also goes on to say, we are so close to see Pesci leaving and Miami attendance dropping to high school soccer level.
Sorry, Serge, he did not say Miami in his comment, but because of YouTube
Oh, well,
regulations, we can't.
yeah.
It'd be a little too risky to say that, but
We
yeah,
get
man,
we get it, brother. Trust me, sir.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If
That's
you're
a great
curious
comment.
of listening, go to the 1 hour 29-minute mark, and you'll be able to see what his comment said. So exciting stuff coming up with the club. Legitimate chance if for Wednesday's match to be right there on the cusp of qualifying again for the Champions Cup. One way or the other, if we win, we automatically qualify. Which makes the match Wednesday even bigger. Or no, I'm sorry, that we got two matches to win to automatically qualify. If we lose that second one, then we have another match that we have to win. And then Saturday's a 6-point match with the team that we're tied on points with. We win that. Depending on what happens above us, we could be 2 points from first and leading the Shield. So exciting stuff coming up. This for where we were a month ago. This is much more where we would prefer to be. We hate being in that low where we've dropped points in a couple matches in a row in the same way, and this is a lot more fun to do the show and to get on here and talk with you guys. Thank you for everybody that's commented. Those that are new tuning in to us. Be sure to give us a follow on our social medias. We're at every platform: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Blue Sky, at 90 Minutes Podcast. We're also on YouTube. Same handle, in 90 Minutes Podcast. If you just search up in 90 Minutes, it shows up as well. I tested it today to make sure. And any last thoughts before we sign off here, guys?
Yeah, I think Ahmed is logging on. For those that don't know, Ahmed dropped off because his laptop. I don't have anything further to add. Thank you, my brother. Glad to see that you're joining us. I would like to give Ahmed the opportunity to say his final thoughts. But thank you, everybody. That there was 51, 52 people out there like seeing us live. I gotta say that on our last show, most watch, most listen out of all that we've done. Thank you very much for the support. And we're a show about four guys that love Orlando City, four friends that love Orlando City. And if you love Orlando City and you find us interesting, please recommend us to everybody else. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Ahmed, take us home. He dropped off. Go ahead, brother.
Can you guys hear me? What the heck?
Yeah.
So weird.
We hear you.
Go ahead, Ahmed. Give your thoughts on Toluca match, Nashville match, and then give us your sign-off.
I mean, it's nothing that we haven't already said. We just need to keep that positive momentum going. The streak that we've seen, what we know the team can do. We can't sit back. We have no matches that we can afford to sit back. If we're gonna do Leagues Cup, we're at a point where there's no taking our foot off the pedal. In the regular season, the matches that we mentioned, there's no taking our foot off the pedal. If we do that in any one of these two circumstances, the outcome's not going to be good, because we can, when our match started late because of the way things were, we went from 4th to 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy come, easy go. We're in 4th place. That could go south really quick if these next few regular season matches don't go our way, and it's going to be an uphill battle. Do we have it in us? Yeah. Is it going to be? It's on the guys to do what they've been doing. That's that's all I can say, man.
Knock on wood, he hasn't been parking the bus as of late. He's been keeping the foot on the gas, so hopefully he keeps that going.
Yeah.
I wanted to say real quick, I got an email the other day about the feedback, and like David has said before, everybody, go on those feedbacks and write on there, we want another screen in the stadium, put fans for the rainy days, stuff like that, because they do read them. And if you get a lot of people to, say the same thing, most likely they will, fix the issues that we were speaking on earlier.
And be honest on them. Don't be like, everything's great, we're winning. If you're like us, or even you remotely like us, you want the club to be the best it can be. And if just because we're playing well right now or played well, had a good last 2 or 3 seasons, you think everything's great. We say things every week, new things every week that we notice that could be done better. And if we're the only ones saying it, or if us and a couple other shows are the only ones saying it, probably won't get done, because that's only 8 to 10 of us. If a couple hundred people start saying the same thing, and we're not saying you need to agree with us, even if it's something else, just to be honest on those surveys, and give the club really what you think about what's going on and what you could see different.
Definitely. I spoke to Jared Dillon a couple times, and a big group of us complained about the screens that they added in the hallways now. And if you remember a couple seasons ago, you would go get some concessions and they would be playing like women's tennis or golf. And it's just
Yep.
like, what's happening here? Like, and a lot of people were on Twitter complaining, and he finally, he said, "Yeah, we're going to address that," and they came through. So it does
We
work.
got Seven Nation Army, baby.
Yeah, just like
Security
I said, I was
somebody.
going to say the same thing, David.
Yeah, it does work.
Look at Seven Nation Army. It literally happened 2 days before a match, and that very next match they played it before the kickoff, and they even had to work hard to do that because that was a Leagues Cup match where they do the whole countdown the kickoff official thing on the board, so they had to fit it in before that, and they made it work, and they've kept it ever since. And I'm happy it's back.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Ahmed. I think you're muted. Can't hear you.
Yeah, man, you're muted, brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just gonna need somebody to kick off the scene.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried in joy or anger over football, have you ever really football? For Misael, John, David, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!
Orlando!